organization to invite me here. I know how all of you must be feeling, with your stomachs already calling for lunch session. It won't be long, I assure you that. But here I would like to make a different kind of a presentation, completely with regard to offsets. I was hoping to see my dear friend Mr. Ganesh Kumar, who is not here today, but I hope I will cover whatever portions he may not have been able to cover. First, I would like to talk about the global trends in offsets, and I would like to take this by examples of various countries. First, let's look at a country called Israel. Israel, the size is 0.027 square kilometers, population of 6.4 million people, and a GDP of $140.3 billion. I am very proud to see my country, India, in the qualified engineers as the highest and first. But however, in the total R&D expenditure, Israel happens to be the best. Now, if you see the offset obligations which have been fulfilled by various organizations within Israel, it will be an amazing story to see that some companies like GE, etc., have completed about 1,300% of offset obligations in Israel. As a direct impact of defense R&D investments in Israel, the country has moved from a non-entity amongst defense suppliers 10 years ago with less than $3 million supplies to India, today to more than $2 billion of defense supplies to this country as of today. Now, Israel, from the MSME point of view, has 4 major suppliers, that is Israeli Aerospace Industries, Rafale, IMI, Elbit, and all these major suppliers are supported by a large network of 10,000 small and medium entrepreneurs. What they do there is these large companies actually fund the SMEs for research and development. This is a most admirable country in terms of offset implementation. I would like to share with you the experience of Turkey. I had the honor of being an advisor to the Turkey Offset Policy Board, and I would like to share with you, this is the most prominently pro-SME offset policy anywhere in the world. With 60 offset agreements of $6.1 billion so far, Turkey operates in a totally different area of offsets only for research and development. They supply the critical components for the Joint Strike Fighter Force, which you see highlighted in the bottom. They are available in all, of course it's a NATO country, they are available in all the US programs of defense. This is an extremely good example of how a nation which is entirely dependent for majority of imports can turn itself into a positive country. Saudi Arabia, again 2.14 square kilometers, population of 27.6 million. Nothing compared to what we are in India. But look at what they have done. They have established this center called Advanced Electronics Company in Riyadh. It has 17 billion Saudi riyals investment, 6,500 jobs have been created, 56% of them are nationals. Over 36 companies across the world have come there and set up their offices there. Their promotion is completely on R&D. Now, indirect imports to India from Advanced Electronics Corporation have reached $100 million during the past 2 years. Now, this is a very interesting country. Malaysia has what is called as a prescriptive offset policy. Now, for some of you who know already what offsets are, prescriptive offset policies are when the government tells exactly what an offset obligor has supposed to do. Now, in this case, Malaysian government has told some of the large companies that they must identify as a company or a group of companies within their country. They must infuse technology. They have to provide training. They have to share best practices. All of these things are prescriptive. It's not there in our Indian offset policy. These resulted in Malaysia becoming the supplier, a major supplier around the world for composite materials which is used in the aerospace and defense industry. Now you will be surprised, SMEs account for 99.2% of all offset obligations which are fulfilled in Malaysia. It is an important one, and they have launched this 10 years ago, calling it as a 10-year blueprint for SME sector. Now, that has resulted in a total transformation of the country's landscape in small and medium-sized sector. I'd just like to share with you an interesting, statistic here. The per capita revenue of Indian IT companies is around $35,000. The per capita revenue of an Israeli IT company is around $300,000. The per capita revenue of an Irish IT company is around $512,000. It's true that we need to create jobs, but we also need to move up the value chain that create more jobs. And if you see on the left-hand side, the R&D intensity to 1991-2006, Israel scores much higher than even China. So I think we got to do something about promoting R&D and not just creating of jobs through offset policies. Now, some facts about offsets. Now, people generally say, and I have heard some of the speakers also saying, that the offset obligors give something. I would like to humbly differ with that. Offset obligor doesn't give anything. The truth of the matter is, offset transactions do not take place if it does not make business sense to the contractor. Now, how did it first start? First, a major platform or a major import from any foreign country to India or for any country, they said, okay, if we are spending so much money, we would like to conserve some money. How do we do that? Okay, you take some of the procurement from our country. It was just a barter. There were no financial transactions. Second was, they said, okay, we can develop the national defense and indigenization. Third objective was to promote research and innovation in the national industrial sector. Fourth was that they said that we should have the world's best practices in local industries. Finally, the objective was, at some time, instead of being component supplier to various international manufacturers, you will be in a position to supply defense platforms. So, the bottom line is, offset transactions take place in any country because the offset obligor believes that he has a source of lower cost or better product or a better quality or a better assurance of supply chain for that particular manufacturer. It is not because he is doing some charity for us. Got to be very clear. Now, one important thing which people talk about, technology transfer, the DPP provides for purchase of technology transfer from supplier instead of awarding credits from offsets. However, interestingly, I want to make a brief about first BDL. First, I'll make my presentation. There are three parts. One is about the BDL, then product profile, and outsourcing their opportunities. About BDL, I'll just make a very brief. Today, we are Mini Ratna category from 2000 onwards. We are ISO 9001. All our production divisions come under that. And we have three units at present. One is at Kanjanbag, and the second is at Banur, that is at Visakhapatnam. And two more units are likely to come. One is at Anandapur, another is at Ibrahimpatnam. Now, our core products are as given here. There are 5 varieties are there. That is, one is guided missiles, underwater weapons, airborne products, ground support equipment, and test and maintenance equipments. These are our main products.